just gave you the straight link. Just enter your name and you'll be there.
Okay. No, I got it. Thank you.
Perfect. So I have about 16 people in, so I think we are good to go. So I'll start presenting now. Like I said, that we have used a very powerful technologies over the last couple of days, and today I'll show you a different portal. Again, part of it will be available for free, and part of it will be if you go to the advanced version of that or the premium version of that. That's where you will start thinking about some investment that needs to be made. And I think I'm not sure. I think we might have it. If it's possible, we'll see. What happens over the next couple of days. So, Ms. Dorino just joined. Would you be kind enough, Ms. Rao, if you can paste that once again so that she could also see the link? Great.
Salim, don't worry about it. You present. I'll take care of that.
Thank you very much. So we are on it now. If you see, can you confirm that you see a slide that says the best practices for effective online teaching and learning?
Yes.
Great. So this is the first feature of this new application called Nearpod. And by the way, the application that we use in the last couple of days, and these are all what they call the G Suite friendly or Google friendly or your Google Slides friendly. So what you're seeing now in front of you, this New York Times page, is actually a Google slide. I put in the Google slide and added the features of this new application called Nearpod, and that's how you can see. So can you now go on and it will allow you to open that web page? Can you confirm that you can open that web page? Ms. Dorino, can you confirm if you can open that web page?
Yes.
Okay, great. So what do you see, Mr. Griles?
Is loading. But every time I click back to say something to you, I got to go back and load it again.
No, that's why you need to have two different windows.
Yeah, I'm having the same thing.
Are you working on two different windows, or you're doing the same window? Because you need to have two different
want
windows.
split screen. You want us to split screen.
I mean, if you are comfortable with split screen, fine with me. Otherwise, you can have two different tabs. Just two different tabs.
We have two different tabs. Every time I click the tab, it makes me. It has to reload. I have to click to reload it again.
Yeah, Dr. Salim. Some people their browser may have a pop-up blocker, because I had that with mine. So you might have to change the options or allow that site to open the link to pop up, because if not, then you're gonna have to manually click on the link each time.
But if you have two tabs open, at least you won't have to go back and forth and reload the page.
I have two tabs open, but I have to every time I click on it. Are you talking about two different Chromes open?
Yeah, two different tabs in Chrome.
Yes, I have that, and I have to load it.
Yes, on one tab, you are looking at my presentation, and on the other tab, you have your own student view of this tab.
Yes. But every time you go back to the Nearpod tab, it makes it. You have to go click on the link and reload again.
Okay, let's see. What do you see now? Mr. Moody surprised us yesterday with a surprise guest, and today this is a surprise for him. What do you see now?
His father with Sharon Roundtree.
Okay. So if you can now on your own, you can browse through this slideshow. This is a slideshow. If you can browse through this, you see this? Can you browse through? Just scroll up and down. Can you scroll up and down in your, not in the Google Meet tab, in the Nearpod tab?
Yes, I can. Yes, I can.
Yeah, Dr. Salim, I don't see your presentation on the Google Meet tab. I can access the Nearpod content with the pictures, but I don't see you presenting anything.
No. What I'm presenting is what you are seeing. It's very similar, but you can control on your view, you can control yourself. You can scroll up and down.
Yeah, I can do that.
That's perfect. That's all you need right now. Can everyone scroll through this slideshow? Miss, let's say, Miss Lopez, can you scroll through the slideshow?
Let me see. First of all, I'm in the page with Google Meet because when I try to open the other window, I don't know which one is because for the beginning from yesterday was completely different. When I open it here, they take away, they not give me this page. I don't know.
Yes.
I'm lost.
No.
Dr. Salim, I can see it.
Okay, thank you very much. Miss Lester. Can you, Miss Lopez? Let me help you. Can you go back to Google Meet page and open the chat?
I'm in the Google Meet.
Chat. Open the chat in Google Meet.
Oh, okay. All right.
Do you see there are so many links there?
Yes.
So many messages with the same link.
Uh-huh.
Just click on any one link.
Okay. Yeah, I got it.
Got it? Okay, good. Who else?
Name. I'm gonna put in your name right there.
No.
Give me
put your-
welcome to
No,
just join. Okay.
No, put your name.
My name. Okay.
Mr.
And
Apostle.
what about
Yes, I have pictures, man.
Okay.
Very
join.
nice. Very nice.
I have very nice pictures there.
Yeah, these are.
What you want to do is we work with the pictures, right? You don't want the New York,
That's right.
the
Your
New York
pictures.
newspaper.
Yes. Miss
So
Lopez.
the point of this app is to just looking for every single picture individually, right?
Not the whole app. Only on this page of this.
No,
app.
in this page.
That's correct.
Because I'm looking, I'm 4 different pictures.
That's correct. And if you
Passing.
scroll down, and what do you see?
I see to Mr. Moody, his father. Also, the last picture is Paterson Public School building.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think you also see some of it, but that's perfectly fine. So it means you're on the right page. That's all I wanted. Is there anyone else who is not looking at this slideshow of Al Moody's pictures? Is there anyone who is not on this page? So looks like everyone is on right now.
Yeah.
Let's move on. So this is going to be very interactive from this point on. You'll be doing a lot of stuff on this one. Look at this. So here I have you. What do you see now, Miss Lopez? Once again, what do you see now?
Flags and some buildings. Also, my Machu Picchu from Peru.
There you go.
Also, many statues and
Okay.
flags. My
So
flag is
these
right
are-
there.
These are flags and pictures.
Yes.
Pictures are the monuments for the same country the flag
Mhm.
belongs to. What I want
Yeah.
you to do now is match up the monument with the flag.
Yes.
The Jamaican flag with the Jamaican monument. the Peruvian flag with the Peruvian monument, the Indian
Uh-huh.
flag with the Indian monument. Can you all do that?
Yes. Let me see. Yeah, pop of them. Then let me see.
And all of you, I see Mr. Apaza, you should be able to do yours. Go ahead. Mr. Griles. And you forgot Puerto Rico?
Oh man.
How can you forget Puerto Rico?
Okay, let me try. Well, I know
Almost finished.
Almost finished. I made one little boo-boo. I forgot Taiwan. Sorry, Mr. Wu.
That's what messed me up.
Miss Ralph, 6 tries. Come on.
Dr.
6
Salim,
tries.
I'm going back and forth because I'm also seeing who's joining. I'm also seeing who's doing this. So I'm going back and forth juggling.
But to see
I can see
the
that.
Salim Trinidad.
Oh, wow. Look at that. Look at that, Sanjay, Mr. Desai. Look at that.
Okay,
4
this
tries and
side.
4 right.
Okay. Clark, where you at, Clark?
Dr. Salim, is this a graded assignment?
Oh, my God, 32 attempts, 32 tries, and then right.
I finished. I
Oh, does it
finished.
go?
Mrs. Lopez done.
Miss Lopez, let me see.
I
Okay,
finished.
let me see, because I'm seeing the results.
Mrs. Lopez finished.
Oh, okay. Now, if you go back, you will be able to see the results. If you go back to Google Meet, you'll be able to see your results.
The flags. Yes, yes. So they bothering me.
Finally.
I can't figure this out. I couldn't even
Well,
figure it
left the one. Oh.
I couldn't even. Well, you gotta look at the picture and see which one is yours.
Yeah. Everyone got at least, GFA right.
That's what they.
So with this app, we can create this type of game.
That's correct. That's exactly what you can
This is
do.
perfect for my Hispanic heritage.
Excellent.
Or
And
vocabulary.
if you go back, Ms. Lopez, if you go back to the Meet tab, you'll be able to see the responses of all the other students.
Meet tab. How can I go?
Mr. Dabson, you are the best, man. Look at that.
Are Jones and I flagged since we're in bold?
Oh, okay. Because you're complete.
Oh, okay. It's not because we had so many attempts.
No. But Mr. Dabson has 9 out of 9 in only 11 tries, which is great.
What is mine?
Miss Lopez, let me see. Where's yours? There we go. In 13 tries. Great.
Woo, the winner.
But Mr. Dabson knows his geography.
It's just a lot of guesswork.
You can guess only.
Deductive reasoning.
You can guess only so many. You can't guess all of them.
Where is Mr. Moody?
All right, I'm just gifted then.
Mr. Moody, he's driving.
Oh no, he lost everything.
He lost everything. But look at that. Mr. DeSopo. Come on, man.
We're
Mr.
not in
DeSopo.
trouble today.
I think Mr. DeSopo gave up on the first one.
Oh my God.
Mr. DeSopo, we need to hear you. Look at that. Oh, Mr. Wu, wow. He got all 9 right.
Okay, what, Dr. Salim, what indicated to the right points?
That shows the
21.
number of tries.
The
number
tribe,
Tribes.
yeah.
Oh,
they did to
okay.
match 9 out of 9.
Nine.
They were
Okay.
going to give it 9 pairs, and like Mr. Let's say right here, Mr. Montague, 22 tries and got all 9 right. And then we
So
have
You should have did it
lower number is the best,
in cities. If
right?
you do football,
that's correct.
do
The
football
okay.
in cities, I can get them all
So
try.
Mr. Dobson, they have lowest.
Well, Mr.
Number,
Dobson, I
okay.
told you, Mr. Dobson,
I'm after Mr. Dobson, 13.
he kicked the ball out of the field.
Uh-huh.
Oh, Hortensia, congratulations.
There's no such thing as
That's me.
second best. Second
That's
best doesn't
me,
count.
13 tries.
Yeah, Miss Lopez, you got it.
Look at that, Miss Collins did it too.
You're number 2, Mrs. Lopez.
Tell
I
him, Dad,
know,
you're not first,
that's
you're
me.
last.
Is there a gift for the second
Trying to-
place?
Trying to tell them. That's
Where are
right.
you, Paul? I don't see you.
He made it 19 tries.
What, Paul?
I
Where's
passed
Paul?
19 tries.
Well, I don't see Mr. V here.
Mr. Who?
Just competitive. You got it.
Oh yeah, I think he's not a show off. I know that.
Never that.
All right. So anyway,
So how they going? Where are we going to find the direction? How are we going to install this one or create this page?
that is in the paid version, Ms. Lopez. What you're asking is in the paid version of this training. You're getting the free version right now.
Oh, okay.
In the paid
Mrs. Lopez,
version,
this is good for your subject.
Huh?
This is very good for your course, for your subject.
For my subject, always I'm doing, I'm matching, I'm create my work, but this by the computer, of course, perfect. I want to use this one.
Of course.
So I'm during the summer, I have to create to be ready with this.
Yes,
so I need
of
to
course,
know
Ms.
how
Lopez.
can I do.
Hopefully, as we move on over the next few days, I'll tell you, how to create all of this. I was just joking. That still is free. Mr. Moody is paying for that training.
Okay, Mr. Moore is rich, no problem.
Yeah, he's paying for that.
He's rich, no problem.
All right, so we're gonna move on. Here's another one. So now I'm gonna play a video, and the video will play on it will come up on your devices, and you will have to click on play. This video is about 5 minutes long. It's about 5 minutes. So what I would request, if you could please just mute your mics and watch this video in sync with me. So when I say start, you press start, and then so that we end up at the same time. So first please mute your mics. All of you mute your mics, and on a cue of 3, I'm gonna hit play. On a count of 3, 3, 2, 1.
What if the world was about people, machines, and materials that collaborate? Each one has new things to offer, and we can have a much more rich conversation between those. Cities and buildings and manufacturing processes that are more resilient, that are programmable.
Salim, you should mute yours because it's giving us double sound.
Decisions on demand that could construct themselves. So a more active and dynamic environment. This is a whole new paradigm for how we make things, and a paradigm for after we make things, how they can be more resilient and adapt on their own. So we could have potentially much more lean structures and systems that are more resilient. So instead of over-engineering structures and having extremely static, rigid things that will resist everything, we could have simpler, more elegant solutions, but that can respond dynamically. Manufacturing could be more like growing or responding than it is like pounding things together with screwdrivers and sledgehammers and super expensive machines that brute force the way that things come together, but rather can we find elegant energy sources like heat, shaking, gravity, sound? Can we use sound for construction? So a different type of world. It's not that we're saying that we minimize energy you need the same amount of energy, but we can use different types of energy. So maybe the construction sites in the future, we play Beethoven and structures build themselves. We're not there yet, but just an idea that these energy sources that are around us that are extremely abundant can activate materials, and materials can respond to them. And then what can we do with it? So I have a lab at MIT called the Self-Assembly Lab, and so we're researching this and on one hand trying to design the future of making, the future of how we interact with materials and how they adapt, but on the other hand trying to find very near-term applications. And so we're developing prototypes at large scales, demonstrating this is possible, that you can build physical things that change in response to environmental reactions or environmental activators. And so one of the most exciting things we've just released is called 4D printing. And the idea behind 4D printing is that if you compare it to 3D printing, where 3D printing is depositing materials in order to build three-dimensional structures, but normally it stops when you print the part. We print these static objects, or we take them off a bed and they're supposed to be used as they were printed. We're adding the idea that parts could change over time and they could adapt over time. So the fourth dimension, the idea is that it's responding to time. And so we don't just print static things, but that they could change, they could evolve, they could adapt to certain conditions. So it's sort of the idea or the question, could we print robotics, but without wires and motors, that it can be programmable and transformable on its own, right off the print bed. So one of the applications generally about programming materials and self-assembly, and potentially an application that could utilize 4D printing in the future, is more adaptive water piping and infrastructural systems. And the idea is that in many infrastructural systems, we build static, fixed capacity things like fixed water pipes that have expensive pumps and valves. And that if anything changes, if the ground shifts, if temperature changes, if demand changes, if you need more capacity, more flow rate, you have to dig them up or you have to replace these expensive components. And so couldn't we have a much more resilient and a more adapting piping system that would be able to expand or contract on demand? So it would be able to change the capacity, change the flow rate, maybe even undulate to move the water. Sort of like peristaltics or how fluids are moved within our bodies. So this idea, this technology, it's not ready today. We have prototypes, but the 4D printing idea might be a way that we could start to manufacture this. How can we build from idea to reality a streamlined process that can make these smarter materials that respond to a very specific activation? In that case, it's water. It's an amazing time right now. If you look at what's happening at the nanoscale and at the material science world, it's unbelievable that we're able to program almost every material, synthetic and biological material, to change shape, change property, assemble themselves, replicate. It's a shift from just discovering new things to turning the dials and actually designing with new things. And that needs to happen at the large scale. We need to have the nanotech revolution for all of the problems we have in the built environment in construction, manufacturing, and infrastructure. So that's why I'm really excited about it.
All right. There were actually two objectives in playing this video. One was to tell you how to, that there is a possibility to incorporate YouTube-based videos or your own videos inside of this lesson. And the second was, look, how thinking outside of the box can change the world around us, can change, the ways, we have been doing things forever. This guy is giving us an idea. Why can't we have flexible piping inside our buildings? And, never thought of that. We all have those brass pipes and fixed piping. Why can't we have flexible piping? What's stopping us from doing that, which could be more construction friendly, easy to adapt and easy to move around if there's a need for that. So what I want you to do, if you can give me just verbal idea, how do you see this kind of a thinking, wherein we knew about we didn't even I think start 3D printing yet, and this guy is already telling us about the 4D printing. Give me your thoughts about this idea. 4D printing.
What's the fourth dimension?
Time. In this case, he's asking the fourth dimension is time.
Yeah, I'm not, so what you're saying is what? That we're including time as as something that we mark, and the structure changes over time?
That's correct. He's marking time as a variable. Let's say certain materials behave differently during the daytime, and they would behave differently the nighttime, would behave differently during the snow. They will function in one way. In the heat, they will function in another way. So he's saying, that the properties of these materials and these constructions would change with the fourth variable, whatever that fourth variable is. In this case, I think he's using time as one of the variables.
I mean, I saw an interesting special on the revival of origami, which is kind of similar in the sense that, you'll have these intricate folded structures that can become what they need to become. For example, solar panels out in space.
That's correct.
But I'll just keep quiet because I don't, this is very new to me.
Yeah, I think, this is new to most of us. It is new to me also. But just an idea to opening up to this kind of thinking. And I'm hoping by introducing, these kind of unorthodox thinking, we might be able to spark that interest, that is lacking in our students. So hopefully, over time, these ideas, these technologies, become worth spreading.
Just to jump in right there. I'm sorry, I don't want to slow down the presentation, but I know that with certain types of structures, they kind of account for environmental issues like or challenges like skyscrapers that are built to sway so that they don't break, and
That's
things
correct.
that kind of are buildings that are built on a type of suspension in the event of an earthquake. So the building actually moves to prevent from crumbling.
Of course. And because I've been to Japan a couple of times, and Japan being highly prone to earthquakes, and the way they balance the swinging of their buildings, and the swaying of their building is phenomenal. It's based on the pendulum model, where the building sways one way, the weight at the bottom, weighs the other way, and that's how they keep the skyscrapers in Tokyo stay upright even during up to, I think, Richter scale of 9. They can withstand these kind of shocks, the earthquake shocks. Phenomenal.
Yeah. Because we have a lot of earthquake in Asia, that's why we build something like that. You have damping, or you have the outstate to help when an earthquake occurs. Yeah.
Oh, of course.
I got one question. Excuse me.
Yes, Mr. Pala.
For Mr. Desai and Mr. Wu. When we talk about dimensions, it's kind of difficult because it's very easy on the paper assume the time as a dimension, the heat as a dimension, because it's a variable. But in the daily life, it is, my question is, it is acceptable to keep as a dimension time or sound, heat, or another variable that we use on physics and science?
I think he posed this question to Mr. Wu or I think Mr. Dawson.
Yeah. Internal engineering. Yeah, that's part of parameter. Yes.
It's acceptable, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, great.
Yeah. Talking about dimensions is a kind of scary, right? Because we live in 3 dimensions.
That's right. But I believe, I think.
Imagine that people who live in 2 dimensions, if we make a distortion of our way to think, if some people live in 2 dimensions, they cannot see us. So that people live on the paper, on the plane, and they cannot see us. They cannot see our 3rd dimension. They see only 2 dimensions.
I think, I do remember, a book, that I read some time ago.
Flatland.
There are 13 dimensions. I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, there's a book that talks about that, Mr. Paza. It used to be part of the curriculum when I was in school for math. Was called Flatland, which talks about people living in a 2D dimensional world and whether they would be able to see people in 3D or vice versa. Would 3D people be able to see 4D or whatever have you? Or I think now they're up to whatever 13. Mathematically 13.
13. Yeah.
I think that all of this, not to get kind of lost in the woods, I think all of this stuff is good. All of this stuff is kind of theoretical when you talk about 3D printer or 4D printers. So I guess what it is it's accounting for a variable of malleability. Maybe I'm not using that in the right context, but it's something that's going to be self-adjusting according to the environment, according to time, according to stress and strain and all that stuff. And that's all fine and good. What that relates to with our students and our young people, I think what we kind of got to understand is that when you appeal to somebody's process of learning, what the first thing you have to do is make it relatable to them, and it has to be something that they see the necessity of. And I think this video does that in a way that's good for us as adults. But there's also tons of material that present the future of 3D printing, where you could show a video to the kids about, oh well, you may be able to 3D print your new iPhone that comes out or something. So then that might kind of hook or engage somebody more than getting into the abstract. Yeah, this technology seems promising, and at some point, if it becomes cheap enough, it becomes accessible enough, then it probably be mass produced, just like anything else. But I think that relating the content of that can be kind of tricky. That's just my 2 cents.
Of course.
Yeah, maybe all those people, we are playing with magnitudes as a babies, right? To explain something that we don't understand yet.
That's correct. Yeah, that's correct. And if you Ms. Lopez or Miss Nana, if you see this, the amount of discussion, this lesson is generating. And I'm not saying because we are adults and we see a value in this kind of conversation, that's why we are participating in this. There's a greater possibility to engage students with a lesson that has these kind of features that we are just presenting today. Do you agree with this?
I agree. I think experience and exposure is very powerful. And while there may be a group of students that might be interested or intrigued by seeing some type of phone use or something of interest, which is powerful, of course. We don't know who's sitting in front of us, and we can't assume that everybody is only just using the example of cell phones, is only interested in that. So the experience and the exposure that we put before them, because some things the aha moment comes a little later, but we've been the one that have introduced it to them. So I certainly wouldn't rule out these types of presentations.
Well, of course, and I believe this is like you said. Go ahead.
Okay. No, I'm gonna add like Miss Crystal said. the students like everything. So all depends how we're going to present, how we're going to incorporate. And I like especially to use technology, something visual. And these all kind of activities, or that's I'm asking before for the matching activities, they have some sites or sites to work with this. It's very important, very interesting, because we need to add on our lesson, whatever we're teaching, on our
Of course. And
vocabulary, whatever
images
they
are
like
very
to do.
powerful. They still
Uh-huh.
say that video is the king. Images and visuals are the king when it comes to understanding and teaching. So
Yeah.
I think probably
Yeah.
we'll definitely will use that.
They
So
like the colors also. They like the colors. When I do my PowerPoint, I put in different colors. For the next year, I don't like that one. I'm very like pushing myself. I change the color. They love that. Sometimes they say, "Can you put it this color? Can you?" So I'm moving. So they like everything, especially
of course,
colorful, manipulated, everything. They like it.
of course, I love it.
Mhm.
So here's the next part. This is what I think I did show you yesterday, and what you see if you be kind enough, go to Nearpod, the window, and try to move around. This is a 3D picture. Drag it left and right, up and down, and you should be able to see that you can get. And these are, by the way, these are all available for free within Nearpod. So do you see this, that you can move it around? Can you confirm if you can move around the picture up and down? And your students will also be able to do the same.
Yes, we can.
And Mr. V, if you see this, because there is so much of repository of 3D tours and trips available within
What is
Nearpod.
that? Is that Santorini?
This is Santorini. Of course, this is Santorini.
Dr. Salim, we can add some pictures to using as a Google Earth to moving that little
Of course.
figure to move into a specific site we're going to look for when we tour in this, because Google Earth, you can go to any place and you can manipulate it. You can also, the Google is Street View.
Of
So
course.
you can manipulate it like that too.
Beautiful.
Yes,
I'm
the
telling
same
you,
thing. I
I'm
like
telling
Google.
you can take them around anywhere you want, and you can use any picture, any image that's available on Google. You can incorporate here. And now,
Yeah.
because almost every, like you said, in Street View, if they can put in Street View here, this will be great. Just
Yeah.
about the amount of engagement students can do on their own devices.
Yes, we can. I think we can do. We need to have a time to create it and then manipulate it first. Then we have to score them.
And when we do practice for these technologies over the next couple of days, I would like you to incorporate some images, from Peru, and show us around, Peru.
Okay, can be. I'm going to try.
That'll be wonderful.
Okay.
All right. So this is one of the things that you can incorporate for visual, three-dimensional exposure of the presence, the student's presence in wherever they want to go. This is another three-dimensional, and if you can also play around with this one, with just drag it around up and down. You can look at any building that is available there in three-dimensional and see different angles of this, different views of this.
Yeah, I'm doing.
Can you do that, Ms. Lopez, and tell me if you can do it around?
I'm doing. Yes,
Wonderful.
beautiful. Yes, I like these ones a lot because I like to travel. I know many places in the world, so I like to this special temple, something like that. So beautiful.
So I believe that, and you can. This is I'm showing you just the monuments. You can put, let's say, if you want to show them around the picture of heart for biology, you can move them around. If you want to show them around a car engine, You can put a car engine in 3 dimension and show them every angle of that engine. Just imagine the things that you can do with this technology. Students, can look at every angle of thing instead of just a 2-dimensional. They can look around every object and have a better understanding of its functionality.
Can you put the brain in?
Of course, you can put the brain in here, and you can look around the function of the brain and the different the frontal lobe, the occipital lobe. You can look the gray matter. Everything you can show within the structure of the brain.
Miss Lassiter. Yeah, there's quite a number of applications available where you can do this sort of 3D through the human body as a move toward virtual dissection.
There you go. So,
Thank you.
like I said, I think ideally we should be able to visit these places. We should be able to go there in labs and see for ourselves. But we are being ready for whatever life throws at us. So this is one. Let's move on to this one. Now here, I want you to draw this equation. E is equal to mc squared. There's a pen at the bottom. Don't type it. I want you to practice drawing this equation. E is equal to mc squared. See that little pencil at the bottom? Use your mouse and your finger on the mouse pad or whatever, and try to draw E is equal to mc squared. There we go. I think most of you got it. And if you come back to Google Meet window, you'll be able to see the responses of everybody. Ms. Clark, Mr. DeSopo, Mr. Collins, Mr. Moody.
Yeah, I apologize. I just went back on my computer. Just died on me.
Okay, Mr. Prasad, Mr. Almonte.
I draw different. I draw a picture.
That's fine.
I draw a picture. What is my picture? I don't see.
The purpose is just look at this is how you can hold your students accountable. Who is actually working and who is not, right? So on this page, you can see as a teacher. I just wanted to demonstrate to you that who is on it and who is not on it.
But where is my picture? I don't see.
I think you delete. This is yours, Ms. Lopez.
Ah, that's mine.
Yes, it's yours.
My house and my food.
I mean, so here you can see the people who have done it. Mr. Kozenek, oh, he did it right. How did he do this? So I think probably he's doing it on his iPad, with his sleek Apple Pencil or something like that.
I don't think so. Just practice. Just practice.
Oh man, look at that, Mr. Wu. Mr. Wu is going deep. Do you see that on the Google Meet window? Mr. Wu, he's going deep into the whole equation. Mr. Desai, you got a competition here, man.
It's not a competition, In physics, Mr. Wu is the Bruce Lee of our school. I'm not fighting Bruce Lee.
I putting my feet back. Good job. Look at that.
Look at that. She got your own. Good job.
I put my feet back, my own feedback. Good job.
All right. So, Mr. DeSopo, Mr. Womack, I think he's thinking.
Mr. Moore copy me.
Oh,
Yeah, look at Mr.
oh,
Moore.
Mr. Moore is copying you.
He copy me. It's not good.
Look at that. So you see, everyone, you can hold everyone accountable, and also when you share it with your students, they get motivation of how to respond. If the others are responding, you get a motivation to do that too. Let's move on. I'll show you the next one. Now this is, I think probably I did show you yesterday. Scroll down on this page, and you'll be able to see Ms. Lopez. When you were asking, and I think this could be very helpful for Mr. V also. Mr. V, when you have to show them, when you have to explain certain, event visually, World War II. If you have to explain, American Revolution, nothing works better than the images, and this is how you can incorporate images as another way of using as a slideshow, what they call basically Sway. This is a Microsoft version of PowerPoint or something like that. You can use that too. And this is, and these are also a large repository of what they call these PowerPoints or Sways are available within Nearpod for, I think that's also for free.
Okay.
So just go down and you'll see different aspects. You can add text to individual images, and you can also add explanations, and also you can get a little bit of feedback from students at the bottom, and think, pair, share, and all that kind of stuff. You can do that too. So this is another feature that you can incorporate. Here is our good old PDF viewer. This is where you can incorporate a PDF article, a PDF website, a PDF page, a blank page, whatever you want to do. You can incorporate that as a slide, and students should be able to download it, work on it, whatever you want to do. They can do it on this page.
Dr. Salim.
Yes, sir.
I have a question, and please don't take it the wrong way. So what I kind of want to, what I'm asking is, okay, with Nearpod, all of this stuff you can kind of incorporate as a kind of all-in-one, one-stop shop. It seems like it bundles Kami. It seems like it could bundle, a lot of these other apps into one thing. But my question is, how do we decide which one? Okay, so if you pay for the advanced version by yourself, which is fine, which is good, but what if the district decides, well, no, we're not going to use Nearpod, we're going to use FarPod, and we want everybody to use FarPod. So it's like all these are great tools, but it just seems like it's kind of, it seems like there's multiple platforms that do similar things.
That's right. And I believe, this is in line, with the conversation that we had yesterday. We are just getting ahead of the game here. If you could be kind enough just to mute that mic. So we are just being ahead of the game here and trying to practice, experiment with all of these technologies. The major thing is how these technologies align with the pedagogy, how these technologies align with the way students learn and teachers teach. And what you see here, yes, there are many features in here. Each one of these features align with that pedagogy. This is what we call the alternatives to in-class teaching. Now, when it comes to the district, like I said, that there are different tiers to that. We can start, with whatever we have, the free version of that. Free version, when it comes to its limits, if I see the value in this, I'll put my own money into this. And I'm not asking you to put your money into this, but I will. As Salim, yes, I will, because this will make my job more effective. This will make my students engage more. When then I'll at the same time, but before I put my own money, I will advocate it through the district. Please, please, please. This thing works. This thing is being used. We have practiced it. We have trained on this. This thing is useful. And I believe under the circumstances, there are people who are willing to listen. Mr. Moody, I would need your help in explaining what where we stand and where we want to go and what to hope for in terms of the premium versions of these technologies we have been talking about. And I think Mr. Moody is also in the game somewhere here. I think he will get it, whatever he gets. But he's probably busy elsewhere. But I can tell you that, behind the scenes, I have promoted it. I have advocated it. I've seen, because I've been practicing on this for quite some time. I've already shared, with Mr. Moody, and he has shared it, with his bosses. And there is a possibility that we might have it. The premium version of this, there's a possibility. I'm not saying don't hold me onto this, but yes, because I understand the financial aspect of that, and when we are learning out these things, we are not just leaving it there. But as Salim, if I go back next year and the district doesn't have it, Salim will put his own money somehow. Maybe I'll cut down something from my wife's pocket money and put it in here. All right. So, Mr. Womack,
we'll do a GoFundMe for all your technology needs. How about that?
Hey, nothing wrong. Why not? Why not? And I can tell you, when I was east side, we bought a lot of technology through GoFundMe.
Yeah, I don't know if they still have it, but not Microsoft. Bill Gates Foundation had the Donors Choose.
Yes, they still have it.
Yeah,
and forgive me, I actually use Donors Choose, not GoFundMe. So
okay,
my mistake. I use Donors Choose, and we bought iPads. We bought a lot of stuff, using their money at that time. This is a possibility. Yes. But again, like I said, look at in the bigger picture of in the bigger scheme of things, what will make your job more effective. And if I want to be as effective, if I need to have a better car because that will take me to my workplace more smoothly, I will invest in that. So if this technology will make my students respect me more, engage more in a classroom, and earn me a few extra points, in my observations, I would rather, spend money on this one too. Make sense?
I agree. Good.
There we go. I got the big vote.
Okay.
All right. Here is another interactive part. So I showed you that video of VR technology, the virtual reality technology in classrooms. So give me one example of how virtual reality can be used in your subject area, in your classroom. And what I want you to do is answer at the bottom. You see at the bottom, it says share your thoughts or images. You can add an image. You can add a typed answer to this question, and the results will show up, and everyone will be able to see it. There you go. Mr. Wu's response is in already. Virtual Chem Lab. So he will use VR technology for virtual chemistry lab. Mr. Prasad, provide a visual for setting up a story. Do you see the responses here, by the way, on the Google Meet screen?
Yes, we do.
Wonderful. Ms.
Yes,
Rhodes saying she will take them on field trips. Mr. Almonte will use for experiential learning. So what you're seeing here is what your students, if you are giving this lesson to students, the student responses will show up, just like this cork board pinups. I need a few more. Got 4 responses in, 5 responses in. Mr. Montague says virtual poetry slam, both attending and participating. Oh wow, that is great. View museums exhibitions, Ms. Clark. Create an interview scenario. So do you see that, the students, can give actually more than 1 responses to. Mr. Prasad is going above and beyond with 2 responses. Virtual tours of Amazon rainforest ecosystem. Maestra saying virtual cultura. Virtual field trips to businesses. Model math problems, solving using real life 3D structures, geometry, for example. Excellent. Mr. Hussein, welcome, man. Long time no hear, no see.
Thank you, Dr. Salim.
So he's using 3 variables to imagine the 3rd dimension. Mr. Apaza, volume approximations. Ms. Lassiter, virtual creative writing assignment. Wow. So it means, Ms. Lassiter, I think you're talking about maybe a theatrical presentation. Mr. Collins says virtual historical tours. Excellent. Jackson, virtual interactive historical reenactments. Wow. Like a Hamlet kind of thing, right? Hamilton. Right, Mr. Dapson?
No, not really so much like that. I mean, more like, if there's a battle fought, you could actually go and be in it.
Oh, yeah. Like, you are in the middle of
Boston Tea Party or something like that. Yeah, exactly. Right.
Oh, wow. That could be powerful. What would be powerful in the current circumstances, Mr. Dapson?
What's that?
A 3D tour of that Minneapolis intersection where George Floyd was put down.
That should be already online on like Google Earth. I know post a lot of 3D interactives in real time, so it may be available.
Because visuals are powerful. If they can create I think New York Times did it. If I remember correctly, they did it with some simulations. There was an article. Yeah. There was an article about I think in a 9-10 minute long article in which they showed it from multiple perspectives. And some real images and some simulated images, and how this whole episode went through. So that could be something very powerful for students to see.
Can I jump in? I don't want to change the tone of the meeting at all, but I just want to be clear on the language that when you say the place where George Floyd was killed or murdered, I don't want to make it political, but something like put down is usually reserved for like a horse or something like that, or a dog. So
no.
Yeah, I'm just saying language is just very sensitive
where he was
thing.
murdered.
Yeah, where he was murdered. Thank you.
Of course. So show.
Sorry, they moved my paper. They moved my. Sorry.
I can see that.
They moved to one space. That says images in cultural games.
It's all right. It's all right.
All depends. Great.
And I think that you have the. I think you can edit it. You have the option of editing at your end. But I just wanted to show you all the responses. Look at that. Isn't it beautiful that you can see everyone's response, and you can see that.
Yeah, that is important. So we can use the student's name, or we have to have the ID number of the student to recognize who is answered.
It depends. It depends. Whatever you are comfortable with. You can make it anonymous. You can make it, but you remember that this is a name they're picking up. From the first slide when you entered your name.
Oh, okay.
That's where it's picking up the name from. So whatever name you want to give, you want to keep it anonymous, or you want to keep it, identified. Whichever way you want. You can do that.
Oh, okay.
Alrighty. So here is the result. By the way, do you see the results?
Mm-hmm.
Oh no, I'm sorry. No. My bad. Let's go back to the presentation. Here's a question. Tell about one educational technology that you have that you learned most recently. How are you going to use it with your students, and why? You can type your answers below or record them in audio. Now here is what I think that Mr. Moody asked yesterday, but he asked it for a different purpose. But on this page, you can record your answer to this question in audio, or you can type your answer here. So please, you can go ahead and start answering this question. Tell us one new education technology that you have learned most recently about. How are you going to use it with your students, and why? That's important. You can type your answers or record it. So I'll give you about 2 minutes. 2 minutes should be fine. So this will be an example of an extended response. So students are responding in the form of a paragraph. Or even record in audio. One more minute. And don't forget to hit submit at the bottom. There's a submit button at the bottom right. After you have typed your answer or recorded your answer, don't forget to hit submit.
Project.
And while you're doing this, if you could kind of just to mute it.
Oh.
I'm sorry.
Oh, you blind me.
I lost my paper.
All right. You should be able to see it now.
You blocked the page.
Yes. Give me 1 second. Mr. Prasad has an audio. Like it.
I just tried the audio. I wanted to see what it would look like, but I can't see it. I can I hear it back? Oh,
I think you can. I'll share with you. After you're done, with your own, you can come back here and you can see responses of others.
Oh, you're going to be this much.
You can come back to Google Meet and I'll show you the responses of those who have submitted their answers. Ms. Rao says, virtual reality, have students grasp the setting up a story by virtually touring the environment. Mr. Wu says online teaching. Ms. Lester says Nearpod is a new technology tool I've recently learned about. I will use it. And we have Ms. Lopez, gamification, great. Create some projects on game too. I like the Quizlet also, excellent. Mr. Dawson says using interactive collaborative music production platform called Soundtrap. Oh wow, I like it. Soundtrap. Is this like a karaoke thing, Mr. Dawson?
No, it's a free music production software, kind of similar to something like a Pro Tools or GarageBand, something like that, except for it's completely online, and it allows students to collaborate and me to collaborate with them. Yeah, it's
like Audacity kind of a thing.
Yes, something like that. Yep.
Oh, beautiful. And Maestra says, well, this one student will be more inspired and motivated to work with virtual reality. Okay. Mr. DeSopo, I like Nearpod for world history. There you go. Mr. Womack, I think Peer Deck or Peach Deck.
Peer Deck, my bad. Yeah.
It's the same thing. It's just another fruit.
Look, I got the fruits confused.
Okay. Peer Deck is one recent tool I will use, Ms. Nana says. Mr. Desai says to enhance learning by using a variety of technologies. He wants comprehensive. I like that. I'm also a generalist. I'm not a specialist of any one thing. I've learned about using 3D images. Okay. Ms. Almonte. Ms. Clark says education for iPad and Seesaw. Oh, wow. I heard about Seesaw. I haven't used it, but I heard about it. Seesaw. Can you tell us a little bit about Seesaw, Ms. Clark?
Yeah, you can set up student art portfolios where people can interact and post comments about on each other's work. So that's nice for parents to be included as well, because then they can see their students' work and what they've been doing in art.
That's wonderful. Let me play Mr. Prasad's response. Let's see if it plays here. Can you hear this?
I think I will use Nearpod in my classroom because it allows me to take my students to the story setting or take my students to the event that is being discussed in nonfiction. We can look at context in a library in a more present way.
Great. Were you able to listen to what he was saying?
No, that was not clear. Could not understand.
Del lamentable fallecimiento de Pautonés, el líder de Jarabe de Palo, que dábamos a conocer en un inicio de los primeros bloques aquí en M2, que fue desde el año 2015 que él empezó a luchar contra esta batalla contra el cáncer.
What's that? If someone can translate that? Can someone translate?
Okay, they're talking about the problem with the cancer. So I think a nurse or something, some person is talking about how we're going to, work about to find the cure for cancer.
Oh,
something
was
like
this a background, I think, sound, or it was a part of?
I don't know. That wasn't Mr. Prasad's answer.
No,
I don't
no.
know from where it came from. I don't
No,
know.
from
That
Mr.
wasn't me.
That was
That
Mr.
wasn't me.
I'm sorry.
Okay. First things first. That wasn't me. When I made my recording, I think the Meet screen was also open. So whoever was talking, that microphone was open, and I was getting that kind of feedback. So
Okay.
when the person is I guess when the students are doing their recording, the instructor has to maybe close his mic or tell everybody else. I don't know how you're going to do that, because if I'm recording and the instructor has his mic open, maybe that's where the feedback came from.
No, I think it was something else, because I had already closed yours. So it was probably some background sound, from somebody's mic.
No,
but I had already closed, your few, so it wasn't your part. But
my recording itself, when you played it back, I heard that echo. I heard that distortion in it.
I think this must be because I had my mic open. Yes, you're right.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. All right, got it.
Anyway, so you saw this. These are all the responses from other people. So this is how you can share it. Let's move on to the next one. Here is another question. What would you prefer in delivering online instruction, student-paced or instructor-paced? This is how you can add a poll question. If you have, if you want yes or no, agree, disagree, up and down, these kind of answers, so you can share it, with your students. So go ahead and answer this question. What would you prefer in delivering online instruction? Would you rather keep it student-paced, so students do it on their own, or you rather have it live, just like we are doing right now, instructor-paced? I am controlling this. I'm delivering it live online with the students sitting at the same time, also called synchronous teaching. In an asynchronous, student-paced environment, the students are doing it on their own, at their own time, and submitting their responses. So I have received response from some. Miss Ralph has already responded. Yep, go ahead.
I changed it, Dr. Salim.
I'm sorry?
After you explained.
Oh, you changed it?
Yeah, because you explained it better.
Okay. Go ahead. I need a few more responses. I've received the responses from from some. I'm still waiting for more. And as soon as I have more responses, I'll share the results with you. You don't see the results right now, right?
We see it. We see it on your screen where the dots line up with yes or no.
Okay. There's another way to share this also, and I'll share that. And this should come on your screen. Do you see on your screen now? Go back to your own screen of Nearpod.
Yes, we see it. Yes, we see it.
Yeah. So 34% said instructor-paced, 17% said student-paced, and 48% didn't answer. So I'm going to unshare it. And we are back to the old page. By the way, on this page, there's also a short video. If you want to know what's the difference between in terms of features and deliverability, what's the difference between online instruction and student-based, you can play that video. I don't want to spend more time on playing that video right now. We are already almost an hour and 20 or so minutes into this presentation, and I would like to now come to the conclusion of that. And we have a few more slides, and then we'll wrap it up. So this is the results, by the way, so far. I'm sorry, this is now we are moving on to something different. So what I would like you to do is play that audio at the top of this screen. Play that audio and then answer the question.
following is an example of how you can insert a quiz in a lesson.
Can you tell which one is a? Can you tell
quiz in a lesson?
Okay, that's fine. So can you tell which one is a correct equation, A or B? Which one is the correct equation here?
The following is an example of how you can insert a quiz in a lesson.
Which one is a correct equation, A or B?
I don't understand your question, Mr. Salim. Correct for what? For the energy, Einstein energy, or what else?
That's
yeah, right. I understand what Mr. Alpaza is saying, because same thing. Both are correct equations, because you don't know what the variables are and what the for.
No, I think I meant Einstein equation. You have to forgive me. I am not a physicist.
No, I'm just saying, anytime you have an equation in front of you, right? I mean, you can't say it's an incorrect equation because
I think I should have mentioned which one is the correct Einstein's equation.
Okay. Now comprendo.
Thank you for correcting me too.
You're welcome.
So now
I was slightly confused.
Okay. There you go. See, you always learn, from the experts.
CDC recommended quarantine period.
Okay. Let's move on to the next one.
The way students learn is different from
Don't forget, there's a next button at the bottom. So you select an answer and then you go to the next one. Next. There are 5 questions in total in this quiz.
Yeah, excuse me, Dr. Salim, when you submit all your answers, is the pop-up window that just says "Got it, your answers been submitted," is that just supposed to stay there?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Because I'll share with you as soon as I'm done seeing all the responses, I'm going to come back and share the answers with you. Okay, so now I'm going to share. You can see the responses, for all of them, on this sheet, and it shows you the correct and incorrect answers. And I'm going to share this with you on your screens. You see your score now? Do you see your score?
I see scores on the screen.
Yes.
Yeah.
There you go. And
could you scroll up?
Yes.
Yeah, I saw my
score.
My score on the screen.
Yes, there are 2 screens. On one screen, you're seeing only your score, and on my screen, you're seeing everyone else's score.
Okay, got you. No, I don't see my own personal score on my screen.
Your score,
go back.
No, now it came up. It just came up. Okay.
Yes.
There was a delay.
Yes. So you see this? So you have, for the 5 questions. So these are the correct answers, and these are the incorrect answers here.
Dr. Salim, for question number 3, everyone is getting that wrong because they're both green. So what are you supposed to do?
Both.
Oh.
That's kind of weird, right? That's like saying, do you want to go out?
I lost my paper.
Yes and no.
that was a trick question.
I want to answer, but I lost my paper.
Oh, you lost your paper? There you go. Probably.
I wanted to ask.
Your dog ate your computer too.
Yeah, I wanted to ask somebody in, I guess, Mr. Alpaza, because he's the geometry guy. But in a sphere, this is just an arbitrary designation, east and west.
Oh, there you go. Yeah. No, this is if you look at that, this is arbitrary, from the perspective where we are.
It's clockwise or counterclockwise?
It's
Just kidding.
counterclockwise.
There you go. So listen, great interaction. Just a short quiz that you can create within this application and share the responses, with others. Just want to show you, how it works. Let's move on to the next one. Now, this is especially for you, the science and math guys. This is a great interactive. I want you to click on just level 1 at the top. The level 1 at the top. Click on that and see what happens. And that you will do that on your Nearpod screen. Don't try to do this on the Google Meet screen. On the Nearpod screen, go and click on level 1. There is so much that you can do in terms of student creation. So on level 1, you have
Dr. Salim.
We only have the splash screen. We're not corresponding with what you have on the screen.
No, what I'm saying is if you can go to the Nearpod screen, you will see.
I'm on level 1.
There we go. Yes, number 1, level 1. Got it?
No.
Yes.
I lost my screen.
Mr.
I have
Japan,
nothing on my screen.
go to Nearpod screen and click on level 1.
My screen is black. Like it's.
Yeah, I only have the splash screen for PHET.
I don't know why I have it.
My screen is good. My screen is good.
No, I think it's going to take probably a moment to load. It's loading.
You have to
It's
refresh
very
it.
nice. I like it.
There you go. So it means those, for those who are seeing the black screen, it's only because it's loading. You need to change your computers.
That Taco Bell internet.
Seriously, V?
So I tried.
Taco Bell and all companies that support Trump.
I'm sorry.
I tried to do level 1, and to me the instructions are not clear.
Say it again.
Can a math person help me with the instructions?
You got to make.
Okay.
A full box is 1. You got to make.
You have to make 2.5.
Hold on. I'm a non-math person. I'm a student looking at the screen here,
Yes.
right? And it has level 1, build a fraction, mixed numbers.
That's
see in
correct.
the middle, I see there was a circle in the middle, but I see 2.5, 1/4, 1.5.
That's
And
correct.
I have colors down below. What am I supposed to do?
You have to draw the.
Drag. No, you have to drag.
Where does
Yeah,
it say
drag.
that?
Start 'em.
You have to drag the squares from the bottom and bring them to the middle and make them 2.5, and then drag the whole 2.5 into that 2.5 square.
Where does it say that? You have to push the plus to make another box. I get it.
Yeah. Plus.
What do you?
No,
what
but
do you
I
get-
get it. It's not as intuitive as you would
It's
think.
self-explanatory.
It isn't. I'm not a non-math person. It isn't. So I'm saying what I'm saying as a non-math person, it's brand.
It is no level below level 1, Mr. Prasad.
But my point is,
I can't drag it. I've done the 1.5. I can't drag it.
There could be some instructions here. Tell me what to do. Tell
You
me
can
how
add
I
your
do
own
it.
instruction at the top. It will allow you, but this was we are so used to detailed instructions that we mark down, but
Oh, this is the special class.
This is why math is difficult. You just put something there and you say do it, and I don't know how to do it.
Mr. Apaza, can you please give some instructions?
Oh, come on, please. Yeah, you have to drag from the bottom the part you need. You have to drag it, and after that, after you drag the first figure, you have to click add plus.
So I'm dragging from the bottom.
And drag the
What am I
next
dragging?
figure
Anything from the bottom?
till you complete the first question.
Okay, so I take one. Now I know why math is difficult for our kids.
Now listen, there are so many of these built-in activities like this one for math, for science, for geometry that you can use, and students, will be able to do this. Some, with naturally they will need, some will need a little extra help and extra instruction. Some will be able to do this, on their own. But look at the amount of thinking they would have to do, and in a two-way interactive way, so that they could complete this activity.
So Dr. Salim, everything that you showed us so far with the Nearpad, that's on the free version, I mean the paid version, is that correct?
Not all of it, not all of it. Some of it is in some features are in the premium version and some are not. Right now, I think, they have a 90 days premium version for free, so I'm taking advantage of that.
Is the review of all of the students' answers a part of the free?
That's correct.
I mean, this is pretty similar to, I think, I don't know what you call those. We found them in our classroom, like, these things that break up into fractions, and then it's the same kind of.
Who did it right? Someone got it right.
I got it by trial and error.
Okay.
I got it by playing around. I'm an English person, so
that's what we learn.
But I'm saying on this math screen here, if I'm a non-math student, just putting down those diagrams for me and leaving me alone is like giving me a dose of confusion, big dose of confusion.
There is
the first time I tried it, I didn't know what to do.
Mr. Prasad, there is a learning strategy and a research done by Sugata Mitra. It was done at the Oxford University. It's called self-organized learning environment. You did it in trial and error. That's how it's supposed to happen.
Oh, come on. Hey, guy, what you have to do is,
Dr. Salim.
When you need to write a fraction, you have to add. When you have 1/16, for example, is the expression mean 1 plus 1/6. When you have 2 1/2, the idea is 2 plus 1/2. That's the equivalent.
Dr. Salim, do you see my picture?
Which picture?
Do you see my answer?
Oh, your answer. Let me see.
Ah. One, two.
Do you see my answer?
I think I do. Oops, sorry.
My picture.
Oh, I lost my page.
I'm sorry. There was my mistake.
You lost mine.
That's.
Oh no, you lost mine.
No,
I have to do it again.
I was on like level 8, man.
Sorry.
Oh, man. I have to start again. Oh,
no. This Miss Lopez's fault. She's the one.
You lost mine.
No problema.
Oh, wow. Oh, who got it right?
I got to start it all over again.
That was Ralph, the English teacher, who's AKA math teacher.
Okay.
I think there was some issue because when you restarted it, mine finally came on. Like when you jump back, it finally came on. I think some people got left out of that first wave or something.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Sorry.
And then people like me that was almost finished, I got to redo it.
You ain't started, Growl. Stop playing. You know,
Yes, I did. I'm pretty decent in math, Dad.
Yeah,
How I'm gonna save it?
but you are
Mr.
you're good at money math, Mr. Grouse.
Dr. Salim, how I'm gonna save it?
When there's no money in it, you ain't good on that.
I heard that, Dr. Salim. I heard that.
Dr. Salim, how I'm gonna save it? My first one.
Grouse, you learning anything? I know you're a slow learner.
Wait, I have a question. Are we rounding off? 2-6. Are we rounding that off or not?
He left.
We are?
No, it has to be exact.
He's sleeping. Grouse, you learning anything?
You know what? And on this one, I have. I think I would have to do a little bit extra work how to share it with you. I can see the results at the end. I'll share with you the final results. I am stumped at this point. I'm not sure, how to send the how to show you your responses. I can't show you at this level right now. So can we move on to another activity, please?
And in which level you are?
Oh,
in which level you are?
No, just do level 1. Just do level 1. Don't do anything else.
We need Grouse to do a recap.
Yeah. Yes, I'm doing mine now, buddy. I'm doing mine now. Yeah. I love this. I love this.
It looks like you sleeping.
Yes, I love this, Humphrey. This is where you got to stay in your lane, buddy. Stay in your lane.
Oh, wow, guys, level 3 is a bit tricky because you got to simplify it.
Oh,
and if you don't
please.
simplify it, you lose the 6.
Stop.
I can teach
I
the
need you to
class,
stop. This is too much of work. I cannot do this much of work. Stop. You're already on level 3. I wanted you to do only level 1.
I told you I'm good at math.
I got up to level 4 before somebody reset the whole thing, but I'm just saying.
I'm sorry. All right. Can we move on?
Yeah.
Please. You got the idea. And I'm humbled. You got the idea. Let's move on.
Dr.
Right.
Salim,
Yes, ma'am.
I didn't get nothing. My medication is not helping me today.
Oh, it's all right. It's all right.
Yeah.
And as long as you you saw what was going on, I think we'll probably we'll have it other times. But
okay.
Yeah. I mean, I understand. All right, folks. I'm gonna move on to the next slide. You're gonna lose everything you're doing right now. So curb your enthusiasm. Okay. Okay. All right.
All right, Dr. Salim, you can do it.
Hey, you
Not
go.
yet. Oh my
Hey,
God.
who raised that?
I didn't
told
finish.
you. I told you, curb your enthusiasm.
What happened?
I'm sorry.
I was already on the 4th level.
Okay, sorry. So I don't know. Now this is what you gotta do again on your own. So you figured out what to do with this. You are the math guys and the physics guys. You're gonna tell me what you're gonna do with this. So you're gonna put this guy, lift this guy somewhere at the top, and let him roll. And he has to go, I think, over these mountains. Let him land over these mountains. And there are 3 different curves. On the right side, you'll see 3 different curves. You have a V curve, and then you have this is slanted curve, and then you have a W curve. Use one of these curves and let this guy roll on his rollerblade, and let him see what do you call the rollerblade or what?
Skateboard.
Skateboard. I'm sorry, skateboard. So let's make him go over the mountains. And see, which angle, which force you're going to use. You can increase the mass. You can increase the speed, the friction, and all of these things, you can add in order for him to jump over the obstacle.
Okay, let's play with this.
Yeah, let's see, who can do it. and I can hear the sound. Whosoever hears that winning sound, that means you did it. Remember that. You can change the mass, you can change the friction, and you can also add speed by clicking on speed. You can add the speed, you can see grid, you can see the grid also. Click on grid, click on bar graph, you can leave because that's going to cover up everything. And pie chart. And let's see how you can do this. This is a combination of energy, speed, mass, friction, all of those things.
I did it.
Let's see who can do it.
Mine's not coming up, Dr. Salim, for some reason.
What's not coming up?
I can't participate on the Nearpod thing.
Yeah, it's just blank.
Because again, like Mr. V said, this is one of those kind of internet.
No problem. Just reload it. Just click on the thing and then hit enter, and it's gonna reload. It comes up automatically.
It could be that internet thing he was talking about, the Taco Bell internet.
Oh, it's very nice.
You like it, Mr. Paza?
Yeah.
Let's see if you can, make him run over.
This is good for physics.
This is great physics.
Huh.
So
thermal, total, that's good.
Yeah, look at that, so you would have to increase the mass probably, right?
Yeah, but if I increase the mass, it won't vary the situation.
Yeah, but then you would have to change the angle also. When you increase the mass, the guy becomes bigger.
No, nothing to do with the mass.
It won't change.
Is that
it's not related with the mass?
Kinetic energy equal potential energy. So therefore mass cancel each other. Speed only proportional to gravity and height.
Okay.
With the friction, maybe it's gonna vary, but
in this case, it could ignore the friction because friction internal heat. So but it's easier to simplify the calculation. They just drag the friction to the zero, non-consideration of friction. All you have to do is simplify that kinetic energy become the potential energy. So you have the mass which cancel each other, right? 1/2 mv squared equal mgh. Mass cancels, so speed squared is the 2gh. So velocity, the speed of the rotor is proportional only on gravity. Gravity in this case is constant 9.8. So only to do is the height. The height about the ground, that's it. So you'll be able to find the speed.
Humphrey, can you rephrase, what Mr. Wu said, in your in simple words?
All right, in simple words, it is.
No. I'm asking Mr. Humphrey. Humphrey will do it.
Humphrey probably not even on. I told you he can't stay on that long. He left out already.
Oh.
He has ADD.
When you change the rotor, you put the 6.
I know. Because he was trying to check on you.
Yeah, he has ADD.
I'm pretty sure we don't want Humphrey translating anything.
That's right, especially when you come out.
Especially it's being recorded right now. So.
Hey, Growl, what did you say Humphrey had?
He has ADD.
Listen, I think it's whosoever got it. Did someone get it so far or no?
I can't get on. I told you, so I'm out of this one.
Oh, okay. So I think we'll leave it for now because in the respect of time, we're gonna move on. I just wanted to give you we got only 2 more slides left, and that's where I'll need a little bit of help from you on the next slide. So do I have your permission to move on to the next one?
You have my permission.
Please do.
Beautiful, eh? Very nice.
So
Very
nice. Imagine you can add a lot to this. So if you can, on the next page, if you'd be kind enough, this is where you'll be giving an answer. What do you like about these presentation? Your answers may be used as testimonials in other training sessions like this one. Please let me know if you'll allow me to use your name in the testimonial. This question is absolutely optional. You may even audio record your feedback if you like. And put your answer here if you like, and then hit submit at the bottom. Don't forget to hit submit at the bottom if you like to answer this question. And your answer may be used as a testimonial in other training sessions like this one.
Hey, Malaysia, how are you? Good. Hey, I'm glad because, you know, there's so many people getting out. I'm like, my girl in Malaysia needs to get the hell out too, right? All right, so yeah, for real. I mean, you know, all right. So let me just, all right. So when, look at this, what do you see, or show me what you see over here? And then I can make sure we're on the same page.
Mute your mic.
No, look over here. You see this on the environmental science class?
Mr. Desai, you can mute your mic.
So
Desai, your mic's open.
Do the same thing. Google Classroom and show me
the
this
moderator.
right here.
Can the moderator mute it?
Yeah, can you mute it?
I'll do that.
Okay, perfect.
Thanks.
Perfect. So now I want you to click classwork on the top. Yeah, you see that?
Can't you mute him? You were the first one in.
I did it. I did it already.
All right.
So yeah. So if you'd be kind enough, you know, just to answer this question, I got, you know, Ms. Apaza, Ms. Column, and already, like I said, you know, that these testimonials may be used as these comments may be used as testimonials for other training sessions. Another 2 minutes. And don't forget to hit submit at the bottom.
Beautiful.
When I say application, I mean the whole presentation itself, not, you know, just the last, what they call the FET application.
Oh.
The whole.
Maybe clear.
You don't say like that. I put in for the last one only.
No.
Me
The
too.
whole presentation itself. You can go back and redo it. The entire presentation.
These are very engaging and allows them to make mistakes and then continue to learn. Allows them to make mistakes. These are very engaging and allows them to make mistakes.
Another minute, and then we'll be done with this. Folks, thank you very much.
Thank you.
This has been
That
great.
was a great day today.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Very kind of you. And I think, we come to the end of it. Those of you who participated all through the end, I'm humbled. I'm grateful, and I thank you very much for your contribution. Your contribution makes these sessions worth spending the time on. And I apologize if at some point it seemed like a little too lengthy. But for the first time, so thank you very much, folks.
Thank you, Dr. Salim, for you share all this type of apps and technology. I really like math part. I'm not a math teacher, but I'm thinking.
Yes.
I like it. Thank you.
Dr. Salim.
Yes, ma'am.
One thing about is your inspiration, determination. You're a good presenter. That's what bring us to be positive and be here with you all the time. I like that from you. Keep it up all the time.
Thank you very much, Ms. Garcia. This place, this workplace, it will not be as good as it is without you being in there. You're part of it.
You just forgot to give us the 5 minutes of the relaxation music.
I'm sorry. But I think probably that the math exercise became like a relaxation today. Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Salim, for the presentation. Wonderful. I like it.
Thank you, Mr. Pazza. Very kind of you.
Thank you, Dr.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Dr. Salim.
Thank you, Ms. Rao.
Thank you, Dr. Salim.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Mr. Womack.
Thank you, my brother, Dr. Salim. Always great. Always.
Thank you, Brother Grau.
Dr. Salim, thank you so much. Please,
Very
next
kind.
time, remember some of us have IEP at 501. We need one-on-one. So please